Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the amphitheater of the Hong Kong Academy of Performing Arts. My name is劉祺豐, and I'm the head of theater at the West Kowloon Culture District. Tonight is a very special evening because this concludes the first year of our scenography program titled What is Stage? Dynamics of Seeing. And of course, in this first year, we are very fortunate enough to have Jan Versweyveld from the Toneel Group Amsterdam with us. He's been spending 4 days with us in a very intense workshop. And tonight, we get a glimpse, a tiny insight into his universe and to his world. We'll begin a bit more special, I think, because we've spent 4 days with Jan and with about 25 Hong Kong participants, Hong Kong and mainland China and Taiwan participants in the workshops. And I want to invite Edward to introduce them because they will give a brief sort of summary from their point of view regarding this workshop, as well as I think their sort of connection and meeting with Jan.
Right. I'll speak in Cantonese in this respect. 今晚我哋開始咧，首先係會有3組，我哋喺過去唔單止係4日，其實係成個月裏邊，佢哋用咗好多個時間，同我哋一齊經歷咗點樣認識 Jan 嘅作品嘅一啲成員，嚟同大家分享一下我哋嘅成果。咁呢個成果其實並唔係一個作品，亦都並唔係一個乜嘢，即係話我哋有好大嘅一啲點樣講呢藍圖，而係有一啲好內心嘅感受。咁我哋先請出第一組 Roy 同埋美芝。
多謝 Edward，thank you Kihon and Jan。我係美芝啦，咁我係一個 costume designer 同 stylist，咁 mostly 我係 work in 喺電影同埋廣告範疇。咁我參加今次呢個 workshop 其實對我嚟講係好新嘅，因為我未做過一啲關於 theatre 嘅創作。咁但係呢一個機會亦都正正俾我可以去 open 我自己去睇一啲新嘅嘢。咁所以我好開心可以參加呢個 workshop， 亦都真係得到好多新嘅 inspiration。咁 Roy，
好啊，大家好，我叫 Roy 啦。咁我就唔係從事戲劇嘅，咁咧我就喺一間金融機構入面任職用戶體驗設計師啦。咁我參加呢一個活動嘅原因咧，其實相對比較簡單，我想去了解多啲點樣去欣賞戲劇啦，從而獲得一啲成長嘅養分嘅。咁我自己覺得喺香港生活越嚟越困難嘅，可能面對嘅嘢包括係失去緊嘅向上流動力啊，或者係講緊大家對於社會公義受到威脅，大家會有啲懊惱嘅。咁我覺得面對住咁多嘢，除咗去好 being sad 或者好唔開心嘅時候，仲可以點做呢？我就發現到透過戲劇呢，可以透過問題去了解自己嘅生活啦，同而家同社會嘅關係。咁我諗呢一點一滴嘅認識同了解呢，將會係未來任何改變嘅一啲可能性嚟嘅。咁事不宜遲啦，除咗自我介紹之外咧，就想介紹一下阿 Jan 嘅一個作品，就係、是《A View from the Bridge》嘅。咁係基於一個50年代嘅一個劇作美國劇作家啦 Arthur Miller 嘅一個作品。喺由50年代去到而家咧，就不斷被重演嘅。咁嚟緊咧，我哋播一段片，咁就想大家睇下究竟阿 Jan 同埋 director Ivo van Hove 點樣去重新演繹呢一個作品？唔該晒。
From here. Sure, why not? Jesus.
未知啊，啱啱咧就你睇唔睇得出係50年代嘅布魯克林區咧，美國嘅？
其實咧，呢個問題好好，因為我睇呢個作品嘅時候咧，個過程入邊因為我自己係設計師咧，所以我好多時就會去諗起呢個 set 代表啲乜嘢嘢啊，或者我好想喺呢個 set 裏邊可能揾到一啲答案。但我睇呢個 work，我好記得當刻我睇完嘅感受咧，我係沉默嘅，即係我嗰個沉默嘅原因係因為我嗰個 emotion 嗰個情緒有好反覆嘅一個狀態。咁因為我作為一個設計師，我睇呢一個 set design 嘅時候，其實我睇到係好簡約嘅設計，但係我又好似睇到好多唔同嘅層次，包括唔同場景個 lighting design， 令到我感覺到好多嘢。咁我記得喺個 workshop 入邊，阿 Jan 同我哋分享嘅時候咧，佢講咗一樣嘢我好深刻，就係佢同 Ivo 創作呢一個 work， 因為係一個重演嘅作品。咁佢哋想 provide 呢一個空間係一個冇 judgment 嘅一個空間。佢希望觀眾去睇嘅時候，佢哋可以有疑問，可以有反問，而呢一個疑問同反問嘅機會，其實正正就係個觀眾自己同自己對話。我覺得呢個係一個做創作入邊好重要嘅一個元素，係當你個作品能夠令到觀眾可以同自己對話，呢個係一個反思嘅一個 process。咁我係好感動。咁呢個係其中之一個。咁另外第二樣嘢，我聽咗阿 Jan 嘅分享，我覺得好 impressive 咧，就係你哋頭先見到係有一張凳。喺呢一個作品入邊，其實佢基本上係唯一嘅一個道具喺呢一個作品入邊。咁但係咧，其實阿 Jan 係準備咗一間房嘅道具，喺由 before rehearsal 嗰陣時候佢已經有。但係因為佢同 Ivo 嘅 idea 係希望演員係喺冇道具嘅情況底下去演呢個作品，所以佢亦都冇話到俾演員聽，其實佢係有其他道具準備咗。咁亦都透過 rehearsal 去睇下究竟需唔需要有道具。咁最後佢哋覺得就係需要呢一張凳，代表咗一個民主、一個自由嘅一個象徵。咁我覺得呢個都係一個 design， 呢個係設計師同演員之間一個互動，一個 process 入邊一個好細微嘅設計。咁呢個亦都係令我好 impressive， 即係作為一個設計師，咩係 dynamic？ 呢個亦都係其中一個 example 咯。咁阿 Roy 你咧，你有咩感覺？
我睇完呢一套劇入面咧，其實有一個場景好深刻嘅，就係其實呢套劇係一套悲劇咯，最尾係會有血案發生。咁主人公Mark Strong 演嘅 character 叫 Eddie， 咁佢最後會俾人殺死嘅。咁嗰陣時就諗啦，究竟係點樣會俾人殺死咧？咁套劇本身原著就係話用一把刀啦。咁但係 Ivo 嘅設計咧就係喺個案發現場咧，所有當事人咧最尾咧就聚埋一齊，好似一個雕塑咁。然之後所有嘅血咧，或者紅色嘅液體就喺由個頂嗰度淋落嚟。咁最尾個 scene 咧係其實係我諗大家頭先都見到，但係係好stunning嘅，好震撼嘅，因為我會喺度諗嗰啲血係邊個嘅血咧？有人死咗，咁個兇手係邊一個咧？咁喺個我哋叫可能我叫佢做 empty open space 啦。喺冇任何嘅嘢嘅時候，咁佢可以俾到你好多聯想咯。我望到呢一個情景嘅時候，我同自己講話：呢一個場景可以係任何一笪地方，可以係香港屋苑嘅任何一個天台。大家見到呢個舞台上面，其實係可以有好多去思考嘅空間，對於我哋自己生活同社會發生嘅唔同嘅事情。咁我哋大致上分享去到咁多啦。咁咧嚟緊咧，我哋就想介紹下一個團隊咧，就係 Clement 同埋William。咁佢哋都會分享翻佢嘅心路歷程，同埋會講一講另外一部劇叫 Fountainhead 嘅。多謝各位。
好，大家好，咁我叫陳偉欽啦 ，William，咁我本身係從事呢個表演藝術研究同埋藝術評論嘅。
好，我係 Clement 啦，我都係一個劇評人嚟嘅，咁所以咁啊 William， 你點解會想參加呢個？好，
先講下點解我哋會參加呢個 workshop 先。咁其中一樣嘢一個原因就係因為都睇過Ivo 同埋 Jan 嘅合作啦，即係15年嘅時候，咁就呢個國際哈巴劇場節就請咗即係呢個 Tony Group 就帶咗呢個人聲嚟香港啦。咁然之後今年早啲嘅時間，我都飛咗去台北睇咗Fountainhead 即係完全嘅一個作品。咁睇完呢兩個演出，喺現場睇咗呢兩個演出咧，都覺得係即係相當之震撼。咁亦都咁啱知道西九會辦呢一個，即係同埋非常林奕華會辦呢一個咁嘅 workshop。咁亦都好寶貴，我哋有個機會去睇即係11個佢哋過往嘅作品嘅啲錄像。咁所以就即時報名就參加咗嘅，好好彩捱到最後。
OK， 我都係，即係你可以見到我哋兩個都係劇評人啦，所以其實某程度上我哋嘅原因係差唔多嘅。不過我就係冇睇到，我有睇人聲，但係我冇睇The Fountainhead 嘅。咁但係我係一直都有留意開 Ivo 係喺百老匯、喺 West End， 甚至乎係喺佢其他喺佢自己 Amsterdam Group 入邊，佢哋有做開嘅一啲製作啦，不如我哋介紹下究竟完全完全呢一個戲係點樣先？個 background 咧其實就係佢係根據一本1943年Ayn Rand 寫嘅一本小説改編而成嘅一個舞台劇。咁佢之前40年代都拍過電影嘅，咁但係呢本小説咧佢係有一個好爭議性嘅題材，因為 Ayn Rand 咧其實佢本身咧喺佢本小説入邊咧都賦予有一種好極端嘅個人主義，亦都帶有少少右翼嘅思想。咁佢係好基本上本小説咧都係用小説嘅載體去講佢自己嘅右翼嘅思維嘅一本小説啦。咁所以咧其實當其時呢本小説係出嘅時候係好出名，但係亦都係好富爭議性。咁但係Ivo 就將佢變成一個舞台劇。咁我哋睇下喺個 trailer 入邊，我哋睇到啲咩先。
Waarom wil iedereen toch dat ik dit als grootste architectuur beschouw? Waarom?
Wetten. Eeuwige wetten.
Wetten. Hier zijn mijn wetten.
Ja, ons kantoor kan natuurlijk niet zo'n primitief ding leveren. We zullen een paar kleine veranderingen moeten aanbrengen.
Smeerlap, bedelaar, mislukking. Jij in je eentje tegen het hele land. Jij in je eentje tegen alle anderen. Maar mij maak jij niet bang.
Daar staat het dan. Het Enright-huis. Het gebouw is een hoon aan alle gebouwen van de stad en aan alle mannen die ooit bouwden.
Wat is er verkeerd aan om sympathiek gevonden te worden? Waarom is dat een misdaad?
Laat me 1 trilling van angst voelen en ik haal de trekker over. Een paar minuten geleden nog een tandenborstel in mijn hand, nu een pistool.
Ik vergeef je.
You know that I love you.
Hoe lang moet dit nog duren?
And what love endure.
Tot je niet langer bang bent. Hè?
I'm so completely yours.
De tijd van het geld is voorbij. Ons kapitalistisch stelsel loopt ten einde. Howard Rourke is een arrogante egoïst die tot elke prijs zijn eigen inzichten wilde doordrijven. Een bouwer die een vernieler werd.
De eerste plicht van de mens is zichzelf te zijn. Geen mens leeft voor een ander mens.
喺即係呢幾日嘅 workshop， 我哋好開心，就係會聽到阿 Jan 可以講翻去 share 翻好多製作背後其實佢嘅設計嘅諗法啦，或者究竟呢啲設計係點樣開始嘅啦。咁有一樣嘢我自己印象好深或者感受好深嘅就係、是、其實一般嘅感覺就係、是、作為一個舞台設計師，其實佢就係設計一個空間去俾導演去調度演員啦。 但係其實阿 Jan 俾我好大嘅感覺就係佢唔單止係設計一個空間俾個導演去處理，而係佢好多時候係會好關心演員，或者甚至乎係由演員嗰個角度去着手去設計。咁其中一個我舉一個例啦，即係譬如因為頭先見到都有一啲嘅 screen 嘅，因為呢個戲同頭先大家見到嘅喺 Away from the Beach 即係冇道具好唔同。呢個完全係有好多台凳啦，有好多唔同嘅 camera 啦。大家見到頭先 trailer 入邊有啲top shot 嘅鏡頭咧，其實唔係特登為個 trailer 拍嘅，而係本身演出嘅時候都會有一啲咁嘅影像咧，即係 top shot 影像咧顯示喺台上面嘅一個即係嗰啲 lit 嘅屏幕嗰上面嘅。咁我想講嘅就係咧，個戲裏邊咧，其中有3場係 love scene， 即係 sex scene 嘅床上戲。咁阿 Jan 就諗咗一個方法，點樣去令到演員可以好安心咁去處理個 sex scene。因為喺 workshop 度佢都講過，即係佢同唔同電影劇場唔同電影，電影你可以清場。可以啲行就人等行開，但係你舞台劇你好難清場，你千幾人喺個劇院裏邊睇住2個演員赤身露體去演繹一段性愛場面，係一個好難嘅事。咁阿 Jan 做咗一個咩事呢？咁佢就喺個舞台嗰度就有設定咗一個地方，就放咗一個床墊啦。然之後咧喺嗰3段嘅sex scene 嘅時候咧，其實基本上都係暗燈進行嘅，一個好 low density， 一個好低光度嘅舞台。然之後點樣去呈現俾觀眾咧，就係透過喺上面一個鏡頭，利用一個紅外線嘅鏡頭咧，就將佢哋嗰個嘅性愛場面係用個 top shot 嘅鏡頭去呈現喺個嗰個屏幕嗰個呈現出嚟。我覺得呢一樣嘢，當然你話佢其實都係一個設計啫，但係佢呢個設計唔單止係呈現咗用咗另一個方法去呈現呢個性愛場面，亦都係睇得出其實佢係好 care、好關心個演員，然之後令到佢哋好舒服咁樣去做一個表演嘅。
Fountainhead 其實係其中一個我睇咗11個戲入邊，我最深感受嘅就係、其實阿 Jan 不斷喺度講佢嘅設計咧，我個感覺就係、其實佢好着重人嘅關係。同埋佢好着重佢自己，佢本身佢係一個咩人而去做佢嘅創作嘅。咁所以其實 William 正話都講得好啱，就係話佢會睇演員嘅佢好 take care 同埋嘅演員啦，同埋佢亦都會好 take care 佢自己，佢內心佢自己點樣去睇呢個空間係點樣樣咯。咁所以就係我覺得呢個就係我呢一個 workshop 以嚟我睇得都最深刻嘅一樣嘢。好多謝。
好，咁我哋嚟緊又做第3組，咁就阿 Butto 同阿 Janice。
好多謝。
Hello， 大家好啊。
係，你哋好。
我係 Butto，咁劇場編劇嘅導演。
我係 Janice 潘思韻，我都係編劇啦，好多時會做戲劇顧問嘅工作。而家現職呢一度係演藝學院戲劇編劇系嘅老師。
好。咁我哋今日咧就會講 Roman Tragedies 嘅，咁就其實 Roman Tragedies 係即係由3套莎劇變為1套戲。咁就係6個鐘，係嘛？
冇錯，嗰3套莎劇係咩咧？莎士比亞嘅劇本啦，咁包括係 Coriolanus、Julius Caesar 同埋 Antony and Cleopatra 嘅。
係，咁或者我哋先睇個 trailer 先，我哋就會再講一講套戲嘅。好。
Als 2 machten zich verheffen en geen van beiden overheerst. De chaos snel de leegte tussen beiden vult en de ene macht de andere meesleurt in zijn val.
Omdat ik minder van Caesar hield, maar omdat ik meer van Rome hield.
Ik ben hier om te vertellen wat ik weet.
Kom weer tot leven door mijn kussen. Als mijn lippen die macht hadden, wegkussen zouden ze.
咧，首先簡單介紹下頭先睇咗呢一部戲啦，《Roman Tragedies》佢講乜嘢嘅咧？佢主題主要係講緊群眾同埋政治性嘅關係嘅。咁喺阿 Jan 嘅設計裏邊，佢係用咗好多唔同嘅方法去講呢兩樣嘅關係。咁喺呢一度咧，我講幾個重點啦。其中一個重點就係咧，頭先大家喺片段裏邊都睇到嘅咧，就係佢用咗開放嘅空間嘅。係咩意思咧？就係咧，觀眾咧喺成個演出嘅裏邊成4個幾鐘嘅，好似係自由進出嘅。進出邊度啊？係演區同埋觀眾席。佢嘅演區係完全開放啦，觀眾係可以坐喺演區嘅，應該係大部分嘅位置都可以坐嘅，除咗有某一個演區佢係劃咗話俾觀眾知你係唔可以坐喺嗰一忽之外咧，其他所有嘅地方你都可以坐嘅。仲有就係咧，喺演出期間咧，觀眾係可以咧去隔離嘅小賣部咧係買熱狗啦，或者係飲咖啡嘅。咁咧呢個咧係對我嚟講咧係一個好有趣，亦都係一個好開創性嘅思考，點樣去睇群眾同埋政治性。咁可能一陣間我哋會再講多少少嘅。另一點咧就係咧，佢喺個舞台設計上面咧，佢用咗好多嘅電視屏幕，而呢啲屏幕上面咧，佢係投影咗喺現場嘅發生緊嘅事嘅，係直接嘅直播嚟嘅。咁除咗喺現場喺嗰個場景裏邊有好多嘅電視屏幕之外咧，喺個場景嘅上面上空嘅前方咧，佢有另一個大嘅屏幕嘅。嗰個大嘅屏幕咧，亦都係做緊直播，不過咧嗰個鏡頭嘅運用咧係有啲唔同嘅，佢會有一啲嘅唔同嘅 framing 啦，令到咧觀眾咧睇嘅視點咧係有少少唔一樣嘅。第4點最尾想講嘅咧就係佢點樣去呈現死亡，因為咧喺呢3個嘅劇本裏邊咧，佢都有即係講到Coriolanus 啦、Julius Caesar 同埋最後 Antony 都係會面對死亡，仲有其他嘅角色啦。咁咧佢係用咗一個咧我諗如果喺香港嘅 context， 可能我咁樣講會容易啲明白啊。就係好似一個焚化爐，即係嗰個棺木推入去焚化爐嘅一個咁樣嘅軌道，上面係一個 platform 嘅。每一個角色當佢係會死亡或者係被刺殺之後咧，佢就會喺嗰個 platform 上面，然之後咧就會好似我哋講嘅焚化爐一樣咧，就會 slide 咗去舞台嘅後方，係表示佢係死亡嘅。咁呢一個過程亦都係 top shot 啦，有一個嘅有一個嘅攝錄機啦，咁就投影咗喺呢個舞台上空嘅屏幕上面。咁我先講住呢4點。
好，咁啊承接 Janice 咧頭先講到死亡啦，我就好深刻印象就係阿 Jan 咧有講過話，即係佢同 Ivo 係一齊去做一套戲嘅時候咧，係好重視死亡嗰個 moment 係點處理嘅。咁佢有講過話，其實處理死亡就唔係要處理一個係 reality of death， 即係大家都知啊，其實佢唔係真係死喺台上啊嘛，而係設計一個 a sense of death， 係一個即係大家有嗰個意識同埋 a sense。咁呢一樣嘢咧，其實都好貫徹喺佢其他嘅作品裏面嘅，即係尤其是即係佢處理過幾套嘅莎士比亞嘅劇啦，咁亦都係即係莎士比亞嘅戲，大家都知係死得人多噶嘛，咁啊所以佢亦都設計咗好多唔同嘅死亡方法。不過啱啱睇就 Roman Tragedies 係其中一種咁樣啦。咁另外第二樣嘢咧，我覺得好深刻印象就係阿 Jan 有講過話，其實佢要設計呢一個嘅空間咧，係一個要設計一個 political forum， 係一個政治論壇。咁頭先所講到即係譬如觀眾可以自由進出。其實就係打破咗以前我哋睇莎劇嘅一啲即係觀賞方式，而直接呈現咗政治領袖同埋公眾之間嘅關係。咁對於我嚟講，其實文學同劇場最緊要係寫意象、做意象，同埋或者做一個類比。咁而佢哋嘅團隊亦都的而且確係揾到一個好成功嘅意象同類比，去對比起今時今日嘅一個政治狀態。咁頭先都講到啦，即係舞台上面有好多嘅screens 㗎嘛。咁Roman Tragedies 係佢哋咁多個作品裏面係用得最多 screens 嘅。咁而媒體同政治之間嘅關係咧，其實亦都即係大家就可以好容易可以睇得到啦。咁所以其實成個課程裏邊咧，我即係見到就係 Jan 咧去設計一個空間嘅時候咧，其實佢係問一啲更加深層嘅問題，而唔係淨係我要喺好功能地我需要有張台咁就俾張台咁樣去諗嘢嘅，而係即係不停咁去刮心，不停去發掘。去問一啲問題，咁而其實譬如 Roman Tragedies 佢哋係籌備咗成3年先至開始去排演呢套戲嘅，咁呢一樣嘢即係都係即係可以見到佢經過咁深思熟慮嘅過程，跟住得出一個咁好嘅作品。咁而好似我哋要講下感受，咁其實喺成個 workshop 裏邊咧，其中一樣最深刻就係我覺得阿 Jan 係即係好平易近人。 而即係雖然佢已經做咗一個好好嘅 artworks，但係佢係唔會高高在上，而係即係好平等地咁同我哋交流。咁啊啱啱開始之前都同阿 Janice 有傾過偈，就係即係我覺得阿 Jan 係一個好好嘅示範，就係佢嘅作品係會追求卓越嘅同時，佢哋嘅心態係好 humble 嘅，即係好謙卑。我覺得即係作為一個 artist 應該係似乎係要向住呢個方向去行。
我都講下，因為即係作為一個編劇啦，點解我要嚟上呢一個 workshop 呢？一個關於設計舞台美學嘅 workshop， 我覺得嗰樣嘢咧，同我寫劇本或者係做任何嘅劇場創作，甚至乎對我生活嗰個重要性都係好大嘅。點解咁講呢？其實舞台設計佢係處理緊嘅就係空間。當我去創作嘅時候，我想像嘅或者我去建構嘅嗰個世界，唔單止係一個平面嘅世界，而係一個立體嘅世界。呢一個嘅空間係出現喺舞台上面，同埋係同觀眾咧係有一個扣連嘅。咁我諗我哋講到呢一度。
係，咁我將個咪就交翻俾大會啦。好，唔該晒。
好，謝謝。Thank you very much. Thank you. In a while, we will show everyone a series of images. And you know what's interesting is that the 6 participants have actually, in that last half an hour, really pointed to a very important fact about seeing, or the dynamics of seeing. And one thing that maybe many people may not know, Jan is also a photographer. I mean, he's also trained as a photographer. And I think in his number of years of working on many productions, he would spend some time taking photographs. And actually, it's a treat for us because the images that you see right now are images taken in between productions, in between performances. They're not production stills. They are moments captured of the actors living in the space that is created, moments of interaction, and moments that generally we don't see at the front of house, but something that it's of the back, something is of the liminal space. But, you know, I think to begin, maybe we should address the elephant in the room. So I will ask Jan the very, very first question, because we're talking about scenography, right? So maybe as a kickoff, what to you is the difference between set design and scenography?
Thank you, Ki-hong. Of course, I'm a designer. I'm artistically trained. I was in art school, so I am a designer. But in the word scenographer, there is much more. And for starters, I also design the light. But I'm very deeply involved with all the other artistic collaborators. And I try to create for each production a little community of common ideas that can make the production stronger. So I feel responsible for all of them, and it's a means to create more a common ground where also actors can fly and the director can make full advantage of the power of the actors. So I'm very much trying as a scenographer to embrace the whole production and not just the set design, as it were.
We are looking at some of your photographs here. And I was lucky enough to have participate, not exactly participate, but I was in one of the rehearsals in a place in Europe. I can't remember exactly where it was. But you were, on one hand, looking at the rehearsal progressing. On the other hand, you were taking these photographs. So you actually were doing 2 things at the same time. Does one help the other to you, taking photographs and helping the rehearsal as a scenographer as well?
Yeah, for me it does. I think it's not, I cannot say it's a general advice for all designers to do that. I discovered for me that it does. I'm constantly jumping over the line of being an observer. Most designers would be an observer, I guess, light designers as well. But I also tend to go on the floor and run between the actors and try to be also part of that world. And I do that maybe crossing that line maybe 20, 50 times a day. It keeps me awake as a designer as well. So I'm through the eyes of the photographer, I can criticize the work of the light designer, or I can criticize the work of the set designer. And it helps me to be a better scenographer.
So you mean you can literally see through the lens and find the details, and then you can adjust?
Yeah, also lights, also it's 100,000 things that cross my mind when I'm there in between the actors.
Right. Let's talk about seeing things, because we all have some sort of philosophy behind the way we see. As far as I'm concerned, you do have some mechanisms about how to create a work or seeing things so that you can create a work. Can you tell us a little bit about this mechanism?
Yeah, so especially for this workshop, I've been thinking about reorganizing a lecture that I once did, and reflecting on my own work, I think it can be broken down to 4 mechanisms. And the first of it is my fascination with the human body in a space. When I started working with Ivo back in the early 80s, we were even still in school in the academy, and Ivo was studying direction
in Antwerp.
In another, yeah, he was studying in Brussels, but that doesn't really matter. But we didn't have any money at all, and still we wanted to create something which later people would say this is theater. We didn't know that at first, but at a certain moment, text was involved, and then we thought, okay, yeah, this is theater. Let's not fool. But
so we didn't pick up Shakespeare, Ibsen.
No. We didn't dare. We were very much at that moment like kicking a bit against the established theater in Antwerp, and we didn't want to get mixed up and do Shakespeare. We wouldn't even know how to do it, I guess. But what we did was we went to abandoned warehouses in Antwerp. Antwerp was a big harbor, but there was a lot of abandoned industrial sites, and with some people from the actor school in Antwerp and some other people of the academy from all different disciplines, sculptures, costume designers, jewel designers, we thought, okay, let's stick together and do something that's maybe can make a difference. So the circumstances were very, very extremely bare. It was mostly in winter, I don't know why, but it was very cold. We didn't have water, we didn't care about it, as long as we could create with other people and actors a story or a narrative or an emotion, whatever. And what was striking for me at that time is the fragility of a human body, an actor in a space, and the tension that can be between that human body and the space surrounding it. And I started questioning, okay, how does this work? What can I do maybe to make it better for that actor or that human body to express the meaning of what that person wants to say? So I started to think about the role of mediator between the space and the actor. And that's why I'm still totally fascinated, maybe obsessed even, by the relation human body and space.
Has it anything to do with the sizes of this abandoned warehouse? Because they are huge, and a lot of times they are empty, so empty that you can feel it is almost like danger. It's very...
It was dangerous, actually, yeah. there were cobblestones, and we wanted the actors to play on very high heels and things like that, for starters. So there was a physical challenge, a physical engagement that we wanted from them, and I think we, in all these years that we make theater now, we never lost that fascination, and never lost well, Ivo still is, I think, a director that demands from an actor a physical engagement as well as an intellectual engagement, but the physicality of it is very important.
If I can call this danger, kind of coming from the harshness of survivals, or also the cruelty as well. Where do they literally come from, apart from this abandoned warehouse? Does it come from some sort of a past experience, or living in a place like Antwerp? Or?
Oh, well, Antwerp at that time was, well, it's a part of Belgium. It's a tiny little country. It's even smaller, I think, than Taiwan, in the middle of Europe. And at that moment, Europe, and especially Belgium, was in a deep crisis, financially, economically. There was no money. There were abandoned, people abandoned the center of the city. So in the city, more and more houses were abandoned by people. So it was kind of a bit like a desert-like feeling. And it was in the middle of punk, and there was a lot of anger as well, and maybe for some reason, we thought it was good to sort of translate that and to show that in the work that we make, to kind of celebrate it instead of beating each other up in the streets, you know.
It's kind of interesting also to hear you talk about the fragility and also the extremes that, like, Ivo and you demand of the actors, you know, because this also correlates with a lot of what the participants were saying earlier, that I think a surprise for them, it's also discovered that you as a scenographer really takes care of the actors. And I think it's not just about a psychological care, it is a physical, spatial care. Because I remember when Edward and we were in Taipei for Fountainhead, and then we were lucky enough to do an on-stage sort of tour led by Edith, the production director. And one thing she said really stuck with me for a while was that she said that you must always make sure that the backstage or the space where the actors sort of kind of relax is just as important as the space that they will have to play and perform. You know, this, and of course this came up quite a lot in all the different productions that we went through with you. And for me, that it's kind of a really considered sort of effort on your part to sort of think about that, you know, because I'm really kind of curious. So what is it about these sort of other non-performance spaces to you? Why are you also just as obsessed about them as the on stage?
Yeah, well, we've been talking now about how bad actors were suffering the circumstances when we went in these warehouses in the beginning of the 80s. But okay, that's a physical inconvenience, maybe. And we were young, and it didn't matter that much. But more, I think, and we were also at that time very much inspired by Antonin Artaud, the French philosopher, theater maker. They give a lot of themselves in a performance. They have to open their soul. I know what it is now. I'm sitting here for all these people trying to make sense and to give something of myself. How hard that is. I mean, it's and they have to do it every night. And I respect that deeply. I think I have a deep respect for actors, and Ivo as well. Apart from that, starting in these open spaces where there were no walls or there were no compartments, there was no backstage or on stage. I kept that in my work later on. I think, okay, an actor maybe is not on stage for a while, but then I need to create an environment backstage that makes a fluency between being on stage and backstage. There shouldn't be a surprise suddenly for the actor and too much of a difference. I think also it has to do with the quality, the build quality of the set. I think an actor should be allowed to play in a set that is solid and can withstand all deep physical needs that an actor wants to perform.
It is interesting that you mentioned this, because when I first saw A View from the Bridge, I actually found the set quite dangerous for the actors. I mean, on the one hand, it is so bare. I have worked with actors like telling me, oh, you have to give me furniture, you have to give me props, otherwise I cannot really, utilize myself, let myself be seen. But according to what we have seen from A View from the Bridge, did any actor disagree with you, with the design, kind of don't even let them to have shoes on?
That's a very good question. Yeah, well, for Ivo and for me, one of the basic ideas of A View from the Bridge, that for us it was like a Greek tragedy. It was not about, or not only about that little house in Red Hook, Brooklyn, New York, USA. It was universal, it was everywhere. And when I have that feeling, I tend to go back to the Greek theater. I'm sure in Chinese theater tradition, you must also have some kind of roots and origins where you can really go back to when you have these questions. And the Greek theater is not about props, it's not about furniture, it's not about stuffing the set with nice objects.
Realities.
Realities. It's about performing. It's about creating a platform for an actor to be able to share and to open his or her soul, and to share that text or that narrative that is in the play. And so I think through the years, we had our failures, a lot of them, and we had our fights with actors and difficulties. But through the years, I think we learned from that, and I think we're kind of getting better. I wouldn't say totally good in it, but better in preparing the actors and preparing a platform where they, although we don't allow them, or I don't allow them, but although we make it difficult for them by having no props or no furniture or even no shoes, that still they feel like it is a value not to do it, So.
But this is not your company. Actually, you were working with a group of new actresses from National Theatre.
Yeah. So, well, the first day, I remember telling it also in the workshop, everybody comes together on a first day, and then you do a presentation, and it starts with, I think, the presentation. I think we prepare it very well, that we show images, we show inspirational material that already brings some kind of doubts in, or maybe even prepares the actor in order to be open for yet another vision than the traditional, in this case, English theater tradition. But still they went pale when we said white, when they heard that there were no props. And then we said, let's see, let's try, we see how far we come, and we can always change, And they were prepared to do that. And well, this is where we came with them, and I think they were very happy playing it in the end.
lots of actors would feel safe, according to your word, because you mentioned the word safe quite a bit during the workshops. You want them to feel safe, but new ideas could be quite dangerous. And according to most of the repertoires that we have come across of your work or Ivo's work, it is always there. It is definitely some kind of attraction to people like us as well. Let's go back to A View from the Bridge. Before we saw your version, there was a Broadway version. So they are kind of like, you know, so they use the same script, but the approach was so different. And so you never have any complaints from actors about, you know, the ideas were a bit too demanding and too outrage?
Not really, no.
In terms of design?
Well, you use the word create a safe environment, but it's not only about physical safety, of course. Of course, it's very important, but it's about an emotional safety. So what we tend to do, we're always there for them. I as a designer, I know I'm in a luxurious situation to be mostly in all of the rehearsals, but I mean by an emotional safety or security is that we're always there to answer whatever doubt or question they have.
How often do you attend rehearsals?
90% of the time. I'm ashamed because I know that Hong Kong designers, like economically, they just have to work on much more production. So I'm spoiled. Sorry, guys. Really.
Maybe let's go on.
That's why I became a photographer, to at least have another excuse
to be in the space. Ki-hong, this is very important because this takes us to one very important word in our lives: reality. So the kind of reality that you are constructing or you are creating, we call it the new reality, because you mentioned the word emotional reality. So there are so many different kinds of reality to you. Can you say something about what is new reality? What is reality to you?
Well, I think in a set design, for instance, you saw some images of the Fountainhead, which we just played in Taipei. Creating a new reality for me is the most important of all my principles that I have as a designer. It's all about that. And creating a new reality means that I use inspirational sources from the world I live in, the things I see on the street, in movies. It's a very wide amalgamated mosaic. Is that true? No, and I try to bring that together, but it's never a copy of reality. It's bringing together elements that exist in reality, but taken out of the context can become a new reality and have a new meaning, so that it can be the canvas from which we can start telling the story of the play that we want to
Can you take the Fountainhead for an example to tell us what is the new reality part in it, or suggest?
Well, this is a photograph of the model. So, for instance, this wooden floor, for me it was a basic element that I found in a building of Donald Judd in New York. And for me the wooden floor had an enormous Zen quality, and wouldn't be, in the first place, be associated with an industry or an idea factory. We wanted to create an idea factory with the Fountainhead. That was the main idea about the set. But I needed a counter material to kind of also create Zen, how do you call that? A certain sanctuary of ideas, not only dynamism. These tables, they were existing already at Toneelgroep Amsterdam. I designed them myself for yet another production, but I changed them by making them higher. These walls, for instance, are just, well, not really walls because they don't touch the floor, but still they create the binding of all the elements together. Then we have other rooms here where people of our technical crew, they are partly visible. Sometimes they come on stage, but they can work here in order to provide all the drawings, everything the actors need. Actors can go there as well, so you can look inside. Partly it's another workshop. What was I explaining to Ki Hong, that the set never stops where it visually stops. So that's an example of that. The ceiling is the same. It's not an existing ceiling because it would drain inside. It's open, it's an open structure, but still it creates a peaceful room that is contained in itself. It's very hard. You totally overwhelmed me by this question. So
maybe at this time it'd be good to move into the second mechanics, because I think with Fountainhead, obviously with the little trailer that we saw, and you were talking about the new realities of pulling in a lot of inspiration materials that's from daily life into almost an amalgamation, you know, if you will. So what is the second mechanics that you sort of hold on to?
I'm not sure if I just swapped them up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's chaos. I think it's chaos.
Yeah.
Because you said you love chaos.
Yeah.
This is a very strange thing to say.
I don't know if I love it. I think it's necessary.
This is even stranger.
Yeah. But if it happens, I mostly embrace it. I think Ivo as a director, okay, he's a well-prepared director. So he takes the time to study, like way ahead in advance, the material, the text, the characters, the writer. He reads about the history of the play, whatever, the whole library. So all that knowledge and all my preparation, that's okay. And we develop a design, and then it's there. And then Ivo sometimes, he's really a naughty director. He just wants to destroy it all, you know? He wants to turn it around and to see, is it okay as the way it is? Maybe we have to do something else. Or he thinks that in a certain scene, there should be a counterpoint, and he motivates the actors in changing the set or whatever. I think chaos is something that nature teaches us all the time, and nature is getting more and more severe towards us, I think. Seeing now what happened in Houston, and yeah, here as well, there are much examples of what like nature can like change our world in 10 seconds, and the result is total chaos. I think bringing chaos in theater is necessary, and it creates the ground for new ideas and for new development and for a re-rise of ideas. So being able to bring that in theater and to, for a part, destroy your own world can generate a new world full of new ideas.
I think that's a very brave thing to do. You said you love it. Because when I remember watching Roman tragedies in London, when I was literally in the auditorium and I have a choice to stay in my seat or go onto the stage, I have to make a lot of choices. And Could you tell a bit about how did you come to the idea of creating the design of Roman Tragedies, which is a piece of 6 hours long, and then audience are encouraged to go onto the stage to buy things, to sit there, and the actors are actually...
Well, I think the participants did a fantastic job in already for a big part explaining that. I can maybe add some little thing that for us, the Roman Tragedies, we wanted to bring them as a political case study. And in order to do that, we thought, okay, we should choose the form of a political conference in which the people who want to make part of that conference are able to move around, because a conference, it goes on and on and on and on, so it has no pause, it has no... It goes on. People speak, there are case studies. And then we said, okay, let's open up the theater. Let's keep the doors open. People can walk in, walk out. Okay, we need to make them feel at home. So they need nourishment. So they need to eat, they need to drink. And I think what was also an important thing is to shake up a little bit the traditional relation between actors and public, and to shake up a little bit the traditional way a theater is divided in. This is the actor zone and this is the public zone, especially for Roman tragedies. It doesn't make any sense to do that all the time. I mean, but in this case, I think it was a very appropriate choice to just make it possible that people could walk everywhere. And public is very respectful to that, I must say. In all that time that we played now Roman tragedies, maybe there were a few little minor incidents, but nothing really bad or something.
You know what's also interesting, that as you talk about chaos, and obviously, you know, as you mentioned, that it brings, or it sort of brings a critical moment that something else emerges. But obviously, it's not just chaos for chaos' sake. That it is also structured in a way that, you know, like say within Roman tragedies, because I think we also talked about focus, because there are multiple screens, and the content of the screens also multiple, yes. And then audience in the space, sitting in the space, going to buy a pastry, a glass of wine, and then some old woman would always sit in front of the stage throughout the whole show. So, you know, there's a lot going on. And obviously, it is not without a certain visual dramaturgy that's also quite critical in what you look at. So maybe if you want to talk a bit about what you mean by visual dramaturgy in terms of as part of your design.
I think every production has the right to be designed in a very distinct way. In a very distinct way. So I must say, okay, I designed Roman tragedies, and then it was all ready, and it was standing in a big rehearsal studio, because we had to rent a bigger one because it was all too big to fit in our rehearsal room. And then we rehearsed with the actors in an empty set. And then suddenly, in the first preview, all the public came in the set, and I didn't see the set anymore. And I thought, this is good. So it's not. Of course, I'm a designer, so I am very careful about the aesthetics, and I am an aesthetic guy. I just can't help it. It's my way of thinking. But then again, I'm very glad that all these people are in it, all these colors disturbing the so-called design. And that's, with Roman tragedies, for instance, something I embrace. We did it in other productions as well, in another way, like Scenes from a Marriage, for instance. Suddenly, the people are the background of what the actors, of the actor space, and not just my design. And that's good for me. That's good.
When we mentioned scenes from a marriage or Roman tragedies or the fountainhead, even A View from the Bridge, they all have different aspects of dealing with bodies, architecture, so-called space. Sometimes a human body could have all sort of possibilities of seeing space as well, because the way he or she relate to the environment. And to you, what would be the third one, rather than just chaos and
I think
body and space?
The third mechanic would be transition for me. Yeah.
It's interesting that you sort of transition is kind of one of your key mechanics, because I think as a director, as I make work, I always worry about transitions. I always feel that we tend to forget about transitions, or we ignore it, or we don't take care of it. So I'm also very curious, when for you, we have the fragility of the human body in space, chaos, and then now transition. So maybe you want to talk a bit, why is transition so critical in what you do as a scenographer?
Do you get any influence from the days when you were young? Any particular experience as a kid? Or
Let me think. Well, of course, transition, you can look at the word in two meanings, in the more metaphysical meaning or in the literal meaning. In theater, we have to deal with transition in a way that sometimes the settings have to be changed in order to make something else possible, or to make another setting possible.
You mean scenes change?
Like a scene change, yeah. And of course, then what we can do is close the curtain or
dim the lights.
Dim the lights or whatever, and then there is another world. Magic. But okay, that's a possibility. But when I was a kid, I told you that story, so you know about it. When I was a kid, the first time I really witnessed transition or deeply went into it was when I lived at home still with my siblings, 4 siblings and my 2 parents, and our home had to be repainted. And all the furniture whether went out or it was packed in, and suddenly, like in a day, there was a totally new world. And I was totally fascinated by it as a kid. On top of that, there was the smell of oil paint, which when my mother started cooking, generated some kind of a gas smell in the house, which it was all interesting to me. And I could find new ways where I could hide as a kid, and it was a playground.
Because
actually.
The furnitures were covered by
everything was, well, yeah. But so I loved it, and when everything was finished and the house was painted again and everything was in its place, I was like, oh,
no.
Boring. So what did that say to me? And still, even getting older, moving into another apartment, having to deal with the same things, like, okay, we need to paint and there is no furniture yet, and you have to sleep on the floor and there is no bathroom yet. I really like that, and why I started thinking about it, preparing the workshop, I think transition is all about a possibility, a future, a promise, having the ability to start again, to leave behind and to start again. And it's all in that moment. It's a moment of promise, of hope, of future, so to speak.
And change.
And change. And well, my perfect theater performance would be a performance that continuously changes, moves into something else, merges into something else. And so embracing that principle because I love transition. It doesn't make it less hard, as you say, Ki-hong. For all theater makers, transitions are hard because it interrupts the actor's play, while I think it shouldn't, but it mostly does. So you have to be very creative in order to make the transitions the best part of the play. And it's possible. We don't always succeed in that, but I think at least we give it a try, and we instead of closing the curtain, we want to keep it open, and we want to share also that with the public and give it a certain extra layer of meaning and elegance, maybe, when it yeah.
I would like to ask you to give an example again. Actually, this time will be Roman tragedies, because there is no pause, but there were scene change. There were numerous transitions in the piece, and that was marvelous. The idea of design. Can you share with us of the transitions in?
Yeah. Well, there were no real intermissions. Only short moments where one of the actors took a microphone and said, "Okay, this is the end of part this and this and this. We are now going in a small scene change, which will take 2 minutes and 35 seconds, starting now. And the next thing we will see is Cleopatra meeting Antonius, and there will be a war, and she will die in about 50 minutes." So you can yes. And then technical guys, whether they were like in a suit with a tie, and with the help of actors, would change the set in the next setting. And it gave the audience just a little bit of breath to whether go to have a quick pee or to get a snack, or to change places or whatever, or to just like, oof, what did I see and what am I gonna see, maybe.
So there's also another sort of scene change that we talked about. For me personally, it's such a powerful one, because it sort of almost approximates what you talked about, that the ideal theater production is a constant sort of transition. So in Cries and Whispers, when Agnes dies or is dying, there was a 40-minute scene change. And you talked about, because the participants also mentioned earlier of the particularity of how you deal with death or dying in the theater. That of course is not.
You design deaths a lot.
That's what I was saying, right? That for him, Jan is like the king of designing deaths. Because it's so particular and so specific as well, and beautiful. So maybe you can talk a little bit about In Cries and Whispers, which was based on Ingmar Bergman's sort of film.
Well, Agnes is an artist, and she's suffering mortal disease, and she's her sisters came back to the house where she lives, in order to be there for her last days. It's not nice sisters, but that doesn't really matter now. And she suffers really a violent death, and she feels it coming, so she wants to create her last piece of art, which is a big painting on the floor, and she gives everything there, and then she dies. The house was, or the set was constructed in, it had 2 spaces. Her workshop, where she also was ill, so her sick bed, everything is there. And in the back you see the living room with a kitchen, and so she dies, and we thought, okay, now this is the pivoting moment. she goes out of the story also. So it's then about the sisters witnessing her death. So we had to find a way in order to bring the backstage in the front and the front stage in the back, which means actually in visually that her workshop is emptied and being used for another purpose.
Life back to normal.
Life back to normal, and also like erasing her existence, so to speak. And during that scene change, what we did was what was an old use in Europe when a person dies. My grandparents, for instance, they died at home. It was still very custom that they died at home. And then my mother, for instance, and her sisters and the sister-in-laws would wash and take care of the dying parent, which is in fact, still when I think about it, so caring and so loving, instead of having that done by people that the person never knew. And so we wanted to combine that very emotional or that very beautiful, caring gesture of washing the person who died with the kind of ugly mechanism that people would empty the house and movers would get in and like clean up the mess, so to speak, and bring in other furniture, and okay, life goes on and blah blah blah. So that was this transition of 14 minutes.
It's amazing that 40 minutes to not only me, but I think a lot of the participants are not 40 minutes. It runs longer and shorter. So it becomes some sort of a dynamics. So it doesn't have one meaning. It's not scene change. It's a time for us to reflect. So we didn't just see what happened on the screen or on the stage, but we see a reflection, a mirror, and that mirror doesn't really exist. One thing interesting about your work is there are a lot of paradoxes or kind of complex feelings that I don't know whether what I'm seeing does really exist, or is it just a reflection? Is it just because I am me, that's why I have that feeling towards what I'm seeing? You know, a lot of directors or a lot of audiences don't like this kind of feelings because that would make them feel too personal or too being pewed or revealed it. But you are so good at it.
Thanks, Edward.
But don't you have to do that to yourself first?
Well, I think every person that works in theater, whether it's designers, actors, directors, you have to start from your personal being, from your personal experience, from what your past is, what you did wrong, mostly that, what you can restore by making theater. I think it's very important. I guess theater for me is partially also, how would you call that? A healing process, or having a second chance in the mess you made in the past from your life. Or I'm not going to say it's a religion, but it's something that can. It's very personal for me.
Would you get response or criticisms from the audiences in your culture that 40 minutes of changing the scene, it is really boring, it is really anti-entertaining, it is really demanding? Do you have that sort of criticisms from audience or from critics?
No, in this case not, and we shouldn't underestimate audience. What we tend to do is to anticipate on maybe the audience will dislike something, or so we're always, as theater makers, afraid And we shouldn't be. We should be brave and courageous and show things that maybe are not that easy to look at. But do it in a way that it's poetic, that it's interesting, that it's maybe beautiful or elegant or aesthetic, while it has a lot of shit and a lot of vomit and a lot of human ugliness in it, in the same way.
You know, it's so good that, you know, for you, the openness to almost embrace a lot of the complexities of being human, of humanity, you know, and it shows very clearly within your work, you know, in all the shades and the perspectives of it. And maybe at this point we go on to the last mechanics, because I mean, for me, it's nice to end with that. It's one of my favorite subjects as well. So maybe you can talk about this last mechanics that fundamentally in all your work, it appears, it repeats, and it also goes back to how we first introduced you as a photographer.
Light. Okay. I cannot distinguish light from space. So that's also maybe a reason why scenographer is more appropriate word for me than set design or something. I cannot think of space without thinking of the light in it, or vice versa. I think it was because as a student in art school, I was, as a kid already, totally fascinated by flames, and a few times I nearly put the Christmas tree on fire and things like that. the classics, you know. But it kept haunting me, light. And when I was in art school, I got the possibility of experimenting with objects where I would work with lights, and as long as it had an outlet to put in the plug, you know, then I was happy.
And you're
working.
still here.
I'm still there, although a few accidents happened. But apart from that, light, photography, space is something, well, and especially light and space, that I cannot take apart. We talked a lot about, in the workshop, about creating a safe environment for an actor. And safe, not in the literal meaning, but mostly more in the
emotional,
in the emotional, or in the safe in all kinds of meaning. And think of light, for instance, as being a blanket that you can give an actor. And then I think, as a light designer, you start thinking differently, right? I have the name of using lights that are aggressive to actors, I must say, but they realize, or they start to know, that it's also a blanket for them. It creates their environment, and it's very private, and it's for them. Apart from light is space, and I think more than 50% of the space is defined by the light. So take out the light and the space is gone.
But light in your piece, they are not just illumination.
Although I think illumination sometimes would be a better word for a light designer than, okay, let's make a dramatic light design here. I think sometimes light designers are overplaying their cards and should retract and hold back a little bit, and yeah, that, okay, I hope nobody's angry now from light designers in the...
But what's also interesting for me is that, you know, as you were describing how for you light and space, there is no difference, you know, and also how, you know, you use light to sort of embrace the actor or the human body in the space. And in many ways for me, this is, I mean, light for me is also about time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we talked about transitions, we talked about the human body, you know, of course, in its most functional and physical way, it sculpts the body. And in a lot of the images that we've been seeing the last hour, we see a lot of that. So, you know, I'm also kind of curious, you know, for you, because in your brain, you are both dealing with the space that the actors and the director will exist. And of course, without the actors and without the director, there is no meaning. But at the same time, you're also dealing with illumination as you talk about it. So for you, light, is light, you know, a marker or a consequence of time unfolding in the space?
It sure is, absolutely. I think light is so rich. It has so many different sides. You have color temperature, you have intensity, you have direction, you have the time in which it can change from one to another. It's one of the most complex things that we encounter in nature, I think, the way we see light, the way light can have an emotional impact. I wouldn't say that light is as powerful as music, for instance. Music is the topper, huh? Yeah. I mean, let's not. But light can also have something that can help an actor or can help an audience member to be more open or to enhance a certain aspect of, well, let's call it the emotional reality of what the actor wants to bring.
When I saw the Fountainhead, towards the ending, there was a very long speech by Howard Hawks. And I was so surprised to see you literally take away the lights. So while he was doing the speech, which was a very strong speech of being, you know, could be criticized as so individualistic, or you can also say it's a celebration of being an individual. Gradually, the light on him were taken away, and my breath was also quite taken away as well, because it just gave me a silhouette, it just gave me a shadow. How did you come to this idea of doing so?
Well, let me ask you a question. What did you think? Why did the light designer do that?
First of all, there's not an answer, that is a question. To me, it is more or less a question mark rather than a provided answer. Normally, towards the ending, the director would give me an answer of the question that he or she might have, set up during the whole piece. But I would say this is definitely something for me to take away, to think. So, have I answered your question?
Yeah. Well. Maybe the people in the audience don't know, but that speech that you're talking about, I think it's an 8-minute speech where that kind of extreme character, which is Howard Hawks, explains his ideas, which could be interpreted as extreme right-wing. The play has also been embraced by the Tea Party in the United States, so a very right-wing party. So it's an extreme individualistic speech where he explains his ideas. I think by taking away gradually the light on it means, and there was a big group, yeah, you can see it there. There was a group of actors standing there. There was also some kind of sound. By doing that, he becomes back again. It becomes just an idea, and he doesn't get the chance really to he has not the last word because of that. You can say, okay, this is his idea, and there are other ideas, and so he melts back with the other people, with the other ideas in the back. it's about, I think, not judging. So Ivo wanted not to for him to be stronger than the other. Yeah.
This is so different from what we saw in the film, because in the film he turns out to be a hero, but in here he's just a shadow.
Yeah, that's exactly what you. Yeah.
On that note, this retreating into the shadow, we will close this session. We will go for a 15-minute break, and we'll come back and we'll do the question and answer with Jan. So come back with questions that are running in your head right now, and Jan will be with us in full light to answer your questions. So see you in 15 minutes. Thank you very much, Jan and Edward. Thank you. So I want to open up to the floor right now. Anyone has first questions? Oh, Louis.
Have you worked with other directors?
I do.
And what the experience?
I do once in a while. I'm very loyal. Well, loyal.
That's the word.
I really enjoy working with Ivo van Hove, and he never wants to work with another set designer. So
I would be like him too if I were him.
So he generates so much work that I hardly have any gap in my agenda to work with another director. That's his way of keeping. But when there is a gap, and when, like, for instance, somebody like Anne-Theresa de Keersmaker from the Roses Dance Company asks me, I cannot say no. Because I think still it can enhance my work and enrich my work to, for instance, work with Anne-Theresa de Keersmaker, who is a choreographer who works with music, dancers, no text, and it can help me as a scenographer in my work with Toneelgroep Amsterdam and with other companies. So I think it's like, even if it's only once in a year and a half, that I can have the opportunity to learn something from another gift. Well, I'm not saying I'm gifted, but a gifted person, I would do it, yeah. But it's only a limited amount. Yeah.
How different it is to work with a choreographer and a director?
In a way, not different. The first time, of course, was like jumping in a cold swimming pool because there is no text, and I'm a text animal. I analyze text and I work on text to generate the ideas. So I had to listen very carefully to her, listen very carefully to the music, and especially learn for the first time maybe how a choreographer, sure, and Teresa does, is a mathematic in analyzing music, and it helped me a lot to also redevelop my vision on light design and cueing and flow. So I think choreographers and directors are both big egos, so I have to deal with that. It's not always easy, but I love choreographers as well as directors.
But it is not only just dance and theater director you are working with now. You are actually involved in opera as well. So you design for opera, and opera directed by Anne-Theresa.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm Alice from Shanghai. So thank you so much for your sharing tonight. I have a question for you three. As you are all the direct or the stage designer in the past, so perhaps your way of working are totally different with Jan's. So what's your most impressive things learned from each other, which would back to your own production in the future?
In the beginning of 2015, I was directing a piece called 恨家家族, and just 3 weeks prior to, or 2.5 weeks prior to the opening night, my set designer passed away. And I have no other choice but using a bare stage as the stage. And 2 months later, I was in London, and in front of me was a view from the bridge. And I saw Jan the second time, the piece with a bare stage, because the first time I saw was Othello. There were not much on the stage of Othello either. But this time, because I had this experience of using an empty stage myself just 2 months earlier, I saw the piece with a totally different perspective. And I think it spoke to me a lot, because it actually the power of it penetrate into the very much inner side of myself. And that was the time that I began to think, if I could talk to this person, what would I say to him? Then I start to follow his works, and for the last 2 years, I've been seeing 14 to 15 or 16 of his designs, basically everywhere in the world. And yesterday was the last day for our workshop, and at the end, I was saying to the participants and also to myself, this is a road of no return, because after these 4 days, I know a change is due to come. And what change is it? The change would be, I am more of a director to use my head rather than my hand a lot of times. I intend, or I should not say I intend, I'm more on the side of sharing my vision or my feelings with my company through words. But from the experience that I have with him, not just words, but really showing, for one thing instance, how to prepare the process and introduce this forthcoming experience to the company. It was so fascinating by learning from Jan, and it has so much to do with how you perceive something, and that something has not even happened, but you kind of see it so clearly in front of you. I don't think I possess this kind of capability, but I think I might be able to learn after, should I say, learning from him.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there a next question?
Yeah. This is Sabrina. I'm a translation fresh grad, and I'm so touched by all the things that just happened. And something caught me when you said creating something related to the stage is a healing process. Because for me, translation too is a healing process. And my question is a bit long, but it can be summarized as, Jan, do you fear juggling two balls? That two balls being trying to be constantly finding something, and the other ball being trying to find something. So in your words, it would be like, it's all about transition, leaving something behind and getting ready for new changes. And from your sharing, very rich, I found that the stage is so fascinating that it's ever changing, and you can have new platform, new things, new people, new crises, new possibilities, infinitely many possibilities. It's so similar to my world, which is translation. You can have infinitely many things to translate. And for example, I won't go into that. But do you feel sometimes, so the thing is about fear. Do you fear getting trapped in this fascinating, ever-changing kaleidoscope? That I'm not talking about whether this kaleidoscope is good or bad or whatever, because for me, it definitely is meaningful. It changes people's life. But do you fear, in your words, it can be like the light that you illuminate, it eventually becomes a healing process. It becomes a blanket that creators cannot let go of. They want to wrap themselves with this blanket so much that they cannot leave. Or so this question actually reflects my own fear that I kind of get lost in the infinitely many possibilities around. So I'm just trying to see what you think about this kind of struggle that is fascinating. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. I must be very honest and say that I'm afraid what I do in theater is also an addiction or something that I really need. It's what I'm most afraid of probably is the day that I will not be able anymore to do what I do. And what I see all along also, like for instance, even a few days ago, maybe 5 days ago, in the last rehearsal, right before I got on the plane from Hong Kong, that an actress, one of our younger actresses playing in a new play that we are rehearsing right now, is so like seeing herself in the character that she plays, because the play is very close to what she has lived through, that it becomes like dangerously one-to-one. And it's something, well, thank you for this unbelievable question, but I cannot just give one answer. It's a lot. It's I think if all of us, I mean, we're all connected somewhere to theater, we should just try to be truthful to ourselves in doing that in our professions, and have a lot of respect for each other, and try to be very sensitive for what's happening around us in that world, not only in the theater, but in our wider world. I don't know if this is a sufficient answer. I'm a bit blown away by it. Sorry.
Yeah, please, please.
So the second part of my question would be, what are some fears or some boundaries that you want to break, that you want to tell us today? Like fear, any fear or boundary that you feel uncomfortable with? Thank you.
What I feel most uncomfortable with is the fear that I will not be able to match up to what is as expected from me. The fear falling in repetition, the fear apart from, as a designer, I work a long time already as a designer, and you suddenly start, if you look back, and that's of course like the big problem preparing a workshop like this, that I'm always focused on the future, and always busy with, busy with time management, calendars, other projects. I travel from Amsterdam to London to Paris to prepare other projects. Associates are working. And then looking back suddenly, before I came to Hong Kong to prepare this workshop for you guys, was very confrontational in that sense that you have to analyze a little bit at least the work that you did and to look it in the eyes. And then you see, of course, how would I say, things that are connected to each other and maybe a certain style even. And my big fear is that I cannot escape, I cannot refresh myself enough or be open enough for other territories, for other, to be able to say, okay, cut the crap, something else now. Not to have that energy anymore. What a sad story, huh? I mean, sorry about that, but it's the truth. That's my biggest fear.
Another question? Yes.
I will use Mandarin to ask a question. Thank you. 就是我看了那个 Cries and Whispers， 然后里面有很多例如他的画，还有他死后用 X 光片做的那些video art， 就是他在这个舞台设计空间中，其实有很多包括 video art 还有 painting 这些，就很多跨媒介的创作，就是这些创作都是空间设计中的一部分吗？然后这些作品都是只能是暂时存在在那部戏的那个空间里吗
？Yes, I'm answering in English. Sorry about that. I really believe, although sometimes I'm so vain to think that the things I design are valuable outside of the time and the place in which theater takes place, namely when so-called curtain opens and the curtain closes. But that it's not true. It should. I know that good theater design can only happen when an actor or multiple actors are using it as an instrument to radiate whatever they have to say to you as audience. So I really believe in that, although it might be nice to, a certain prop can have a certain charm outside of it. So I really believe time, the beginning and the end of the performance is the time scenography can exist. To come to the first part of your question, after Agnes died, we've already been talking about her death, that it was violent and that she was creating an artwork, and then we had this 14-minute transition. After that, she was driven away on her deathbed in another space. You saw it. She got out of bed, which I always like. If people who so-called were dead can just stand up again and do something else or start again. And she was still like busy with developing her artwork, maybe in another world, in another dimension. And she got makeup on, and she was not sick anymore, and she had another life. Although I'm not religious, so I'm not really thinking that there is another life, but it could be, it's an idea. And mostly in all our plays or productions, there is a lot of death. like in Shakespeare, Clement, how many people die in Kings of War? You studied it, so it's like 14 or more even. I mean, so many deaths, and it's so fantastic in theater that people can just stand up again and go on with something else. So we should, yeah. It's very promising. It's very, I think it's I'm not gonna say that Cries and Whispers had a happy end, but there is hope. I think Ivo is very obsessed by giving hope to people through his theater. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. May I ask, as a stage designer, would you also consider where to put the subtitles? Because we see in Roman tragedy, it's very smart that you put them under the TV screen.
You guys are like 1 billion at least, right? Talking Chinese more. Who knows the exact number of people talking Chinese in the world? 5 minutes left, I see, so I have to be quick. Who knows the answer? Nobody. It's there is very much people talking. Chinese is probably the most important language in the world. I come from a country where there is another country. Okay, we are 20 million people talking Dutch. That's nothing. So that's, I mean, it's like not even Shanghai. The population of Shanghai talking Dutch. It doesn't mean a lot in the whole world. So we have to be very inventive and very creative in, if we bring theater to other languages, to facilitate other people to understand the actors. And it's very, like, I'm not gonna be easy about it. It's very difficult. We need people on the typing board while the actors are talking to exactly at the right moment put in the right texts and use exactly the right translation. Not too long, not too short. It's mostly shorter than what the actors say. Otherwise, the dynamic of an actor projecting to an audience would totally be wrong, and they would suffer under it. Not the actor, but of course also the audience. If an actor feels that the translation comes too early or too late, it's a catastrophe. And I, as a set designer, of course, have to facilitate different means where the text can be projected and how to make it easy for the audience to like look and be able to read.
Here, I'm Anya. I have a question. It's about how you think about the relationship between the space and human when you're doing the design, or maybe it is about place making. Is there any method or logic behind it? How you think about the relationship between the space and human?
Oh, I think I already told a lot about it, but I care about actors a lot. And on the other hand, I think for myself, I'm a little bit an architect, so I have to build a house for each actor. And a process of rehearsing and coming to a new production is, for every actor, a very hard process. And they all are in it in a different way, from a different perspective. The only thing I can do really is to care for them and to create an environment and to be there for them in the best of my abilities, and not to neglect that part of my. It's like I'm not an architect that builds a house, and most architects, they have to say, okay, goodbye, this is the house, here it is, live in it, be happy in it. That's not my job. My job starts when the house is finished. And then I'm going in there with them and hold them and yeah.
You know, in these 4 or 5 days that you've been with us in Hong Kong, you know, personally for me, and I'm sure Edward would agree with me and even the participants, that you've exactly done that for us. You've created the house, which was this lovely A-frame that you could enter, you could be close to the participants, and the care. They've taken each one of us into your palm, because, you know, for me, the hope that you talked about, that resides in a lot of the work between you and Ivo, you know, it was the precious moment of that glimpse of that. And so I want to thank you again for being here and for giving this gift to us. So with that, I want to close the session, but I'm sure that this is only the beginning, that there will be time where we will see each other again, that your work will come again, and that you will come back to Hong Kong again. So please help me thank Jan Versweyveld.
Thank you.
And of course, Edward Lam for going on this journey with us, because I think without Edward, you know, it wouldn't happen. So thank you again for doing this with us. And thank you very much for spending this 2 hours with us. And we'll see you the next time at West Kowloon Facebook. And we will also have